Hello, my name is Adam, and I'm on a quest to become the most prolific reviewer of all time, which means I review books and movies and podcasts. And today I'm going to review the 1963 film High and Low, directed by Akira Kurosawa and starring Toshiro Mifune, Tatsuya Nakadai, Kyoto Kagawa, and Tatsuya Mihashi. And first of all, I have to say that I really enjoyed the film. Um, the basic story of the film is that there is this businessman, and his name is, what is his name? Uh, Kingo Gondo. And he is both the focus of the film and not exactly the focus of the film. So, the beginning part of the film, and this is like a good 15-20 minutes, are all about how Gondo is in charge of a shoe factory. I think the shoe company is called Modern Shoes or something like that, but that's not important. So he's in charge, and there's like different forces within the company who want to go in different directions. So there are like these directors who want to make the shoes really really cheaply, and then there's the founder of the company who wants to continue the old-fashioned way of making shoes because it's very like, you know, very high quality. And Gondo wants to kind of have more modern shoes, but also focus on quality. So Gondo has he's arranged this plot. So basically, the other directors come to him and say, "We want to get rid of the founder of the company, and we want to like put you in charge, but we'll also be in charge." And he's like, "No, no, no, I don't like that. I don't like that idea. I want to go in this direction." And actually, he's been working behind the scenes to buy more shares of the company so he can take over. And he has basically gone into a huge amount of debt to do this. So at the point in the movie when we realize this, there Gondo's child is playing with the child of the chauffeur, and they are outside and they're playing hide and seek, and Gondo's child comes back and they get a call about the that basically Gondo's child has been kidnapped. And in fact, it's not the child of the rich guy, but it's the chauffeur's child who's been kidnapped. And then, and this is the great part about the film, is Gondo is put in this moral dilemma, which from our perspective doesn't seem like that much of a moral dilemma. But basically, he has a choice between paying the ransom and losing his fortune, but saving this child who's not his child. It's just the child of his, it's the child of his employee who's been like very, very loyal to him. So paying the ransom and losing the fortune, or not paying the ransom and gaining control of the company. So basically, he decides to pay the ransom. Like he finally makes the moral decision, but it takes him an uncomfortably long time to make that decision, right? And the interesting thing about the movie is they're all like, the media is framing him as a hero, and the chauffeur is even feeling guilty that he sacrificed this money for the life of the chauffeur's child. But I think Kurosawa is a great director because he doesn't actually come out and say what he thinks, but there's lots of implication, right? There's lots of implication, like, was Gondo really such a hero that he did this? Or was that just the thing that he should have done in that situation? Like, that's the honorable choice that he should have made. So That's probably about the first 30 minutes of the film, maybe 40 minutes of the film. And then the rest of the film switches into this kind of police procedure where they are trying to catch the guy who actually kidnapped the chauffeur's child. And then he commits a bunch of murders, and they catch him eventually, and they're going to hang him, like the Japanese justice system will hang him. But the interesting thing is that so Gondo's family, they live on this huge hill, and their house is, it's not like a traditional mansion, but it's like very modernist and like the beautiful windows. And from the poorer districts of this town, everybody can see the house, and they can see like, oh, a very rich guy lives there. And one of the characters, the policeman, says like, that house is just so irritating. Like I feel irritated looking at that house. So it's basically like a visual metaphor of these class divisions in post-war Japan, and it's really, really brilliant because Kurosawa is not saying necessarily that you shouldn't be rich, but the fact that you're flaunting your wealth in front of other people kind of makes it dangerous for you and unfair for the people who are, you know, poor. And that's basically the motivation of the villain of the story. I mean, there isn't really. I mean, there is one clear villain, the guy who kidnaps and the guy who murders, but the bigger villain is the society in Japan. But yeah, his motivation is basically like he was poor and he has to look up at that house all the time, and he's either too cold or too hot, and he can't study because he's like a doctor. He's an intern to be a doctor. So he basically like snaps and decides that Gondo needs to be punished for this. And Gondo is fine in the end. Like he loses his position in this company, but he has got experience as a shoemaker, so people want him to be part of their company. So he survives, and he gets most of the money back. He loses the house and everything, and so there's all of these kind of critiques of being rich, uh, and there's also kind of promotion of being rich, because when Gondo is making the decision to pay the ransom or not, his wife is basically like, "You have to pay the ransom. What are you talking about? We'll survive, we'll be fine without all of this stuff." And he's like, "Listen, lady, or listen, wife, you have never been poor. You don't understand what it's like to be poor. I have, and I don't want to go back to that." So it's a very good critique because it kind of gives you both sides, and it shows you, without specifically saying what the director's point of view is, all of the complicated aspects of it. And I think that there are things that are really done well from an art of filmmaking perspective. Like the fact that the first 30 minutes is all about um, this potential hostile takeover of the company really puts you into this world. And the fact that the last part of the movie is all about the police's procedure to try and catch the criminal is also really, really good. And the fact that the criminal doesn't say anything until a speech at the end is also really, really good. And there's one point where the uh, the police have hidden some kind of device that will go off if the criminal tries to use the money. And the whole movie is in black and white, and basically the criminal takes the money out of the bags and deposits the bags to be burnt because there's like pictures of what the bags look like uh, in the newspapers. So obviously he can't have the bags. So the bags are burnt, and you can see from the police's perspective and Gondo's perspective, like they're looking out at the city because the house is being auctioned, but Gondo still lives there. And there's this pink smoke going up, and everything is in black and white, but it's pink. So you're like, oh wow, that's such a striking visual, and it's really good filmmaking. And I think it was probably referenced in Schindler's List, but obviously that was a much more moving application of color inside of a black and white film. But yeah, so it's really, really brilliant. And I think that I've only watched two Kurosawa films for this project, Seven Samurai and this one. But he is so great at creating these characters and expressing things without expressing them. And I do also like the fact that even though it's this very sharp social critique, it doesn't, it never feels preachy. It's just like, this is what is, and this is what we have it. And I think that the end bit, there's where they go into drug dens and they're dealing with people who are addicted to heroin. And Kurosawa will show it, but there's no kind of, hey, look at that kind of thing. It's like, and this happens too. And I think that's, as I said, really, really quite brilliant. Yeah, so I'm curious to see other Kurosawa films, and I think maybe it's just my perspective, but I always thought Kurosawa was only samurai films, but he did modern films as well, and this is a film I think should be a bit more well known. Yeah, so if I was going to rate it, I'd give it 9 out of 10 because I think it's really, really good. Yeah, so if you liked this review, please subscribe to my channel. My goal is to have 100 subscribers by the end of Christmas. I have 94 right now, so I think that's completely possible. Also, I have a Patreon, and the Patreon is kind of like a role play. You can be a baron, citizen, whatever. So check out the link if you're interested. And if we get people who are sign up to the Patreon, I would like to have 50% of the money go to charity. So we would decide what the charity actually would be if anybody signs up to the Patreon. Yeah, also, just if you have thoughts about Kurosawa or this film or other films, just comment in the comment section. I would love to hear your thoughts. Thank you. Bye bye.